Hey everybody, welcome back to the Harmonious Path with Jen. Today I want to talk about knowing and expressing yourself authentically. Now, this is something that I only fairly recently started to think of as an act of self-love, but it really is. So think about a time you were at a situation where you either weren't comfortable, didn't feel like yourself, or felt like you had to make yourself a little bit smaller or quieter to fit in. Maybe it was a black tie affair and you're not used to fancy things like that. And you felt like you had to kind of rein in your boisterous way of expressing yourself. Or maybe you showed up to a casual event, really dressed up to the nines and just felt really out of place. It can feel really stifling when you feel like you don't fit in and you feel like you have to make yourself smaller and pretend to be somebody that you're not. And I bet when you get home from events like that and you are able to take that mask off, you feel so much better and lighter almost immediately. But what if you have to hide your true self every day of your life, or you just aren't comfortable expressing yourself fully and authentically? When you make yourself smaller or less than, what you're really doing is stifling that light, that spark deep inside of you. You're stifling your true self, and that will eventually begin to wear on your spirit. And you might start to feel like you don't know who you are. And you might even feel trapped in your own life and not know why you feel so trapped. And if you don't know who you are, you can't really you can't really know what you really need in order to take care of yourself and to show yourself that necessary self-love. And you are denying the entire world that spark that is uniquely you. If you've ever felt like you need to make yourself smaller or less than in any way, think about why that was. There are a lot of reasons that we might feel this, and I'm going to talk about several of them today. So first off, we are often told growing up, children shouldn't be so loud, use your indoor voice, don't listen to that kind of music, you aren't leaving the house wearing that. And we get told these things as children so often that we may eventually just accept what we're being told so that we can avoid conflict. Now, there are some people who are the rebels who didn't let this indoctrination get to them. But if you're a little more timid and meek like me, that may have really impacted you and how you bring yourself to the world. And then we reach school age. Oh boy, kids can be cruel. So we try to fit in even harder so that we can make friends, sit at the cool kids table, get a date to prom. And then by the time we reach college age or adulthood, we may not have the slightest idea of who we truly are deep down inside anymore because we've spent so many years trying to fit in with other people. People have judged other people as far back as history can remember, but it seems far more prevalent today in the world of glossy or digital magazines with airbrushed models and Instagram influencers telling us who we should be, what we should look like, how we should think, act, live, eat, exercise. It's really hard to sift it out. And people are really quick to pass judgment on each other. And I mean everybody, myself included. How many times have you said something like, "Ew, look what he's wearing. Somebody should call the fashion police." "Oh, did you hear how loud she is over there? She needs to tone it down." "Oh man, that girl really should not be on the dance floor. It looks like she's having a seizure instead of dancing." "Ew, you like BTS? How can you stand to listen to such contrived music?" Side note, I've never listened to BTS and I probably wouldn't know them if they showed up on my doorstep, so I am not dissing anybody. But you can see how easy it is to pass judgment and not even think about it. So we often try to conform so that we don't have other people passing judgment on us, even silently. Some people may be in relationships where their partner is trying to change or stifle who they are. And this may be subconsciously or it may be more overt and sinister. So a more subconscious, seemingly benign thing might be a comment like, say you're on a date, it's early in a relationship and you're on a date with somebody and they make a comment, oh, I can't stand that type of music. And then maybe they just go on and on about why they dislike it so much. And maybe that's your favorite type of music. If you don't want to cause conflict, you might just kind of nod and ignore the comments and maybe change the subject, but chances are you're not ever going to listen to that type of music around that person. You might not even ever admit to them that you enjoy it. A more overt way of this might be, why do you always listen to progressive rock? All the singers are either ridiculously operatic high voices or they just growl. It's no in between. It's so annoying. And maybe you stop listening to your favorite bands because of comments like that. Or maybe your partner makes fun of the people you hang out with. Many years ago, I invited my writing group over to my home for our monthly meeting. And my partner at the time happened to overhear some of the conversations we were having. And afterwards, he said to me, all you do is praise each other. You never offer any criticism. It's such a waste of time. Why are you doing this? It's pathetic. And really what he was saying was he was trying to control who I was friends with. So things like that can get really, really damaging really quickly. So with all this pressure from society and our family and friends and loved ones, how can we even begin to feel brave enough to express our true selves if we go a little bit against the norm or a lot bit against the norm? The first step is to know who you are. I mean, really know who you are. But I know who I am, you might be saying. Do you? Do you really? I was 28 years old before I ever asked myself that question and started trying to figure out who I am, not who those around me thought I was or wanted me to be. So ask yourself that question and be really honest about yourself. And there's a scene in the old movie The Runaway Bride where Julia Roberts' character is trying to figure out what type of eggs she likes. She has had many partners, many engagements, hence the Runaway Bride, and she always ate the type of eggs that her partner liked. So when she finally decided that she was going to go it on her own and figure out who she really was, she didn't even know what type of eggs she liked. So she sat and over a course of days, probably, she tried every conceivable type of eggs until she figured out which one was her favorite. So experiment. Try different things. You know, if you're really starting from square one, just listen to anything, read anything, whatever area of your life you're trying to figure out, just try on all different types of beliefs or enjoyments or hobbies or anything. If you think you know who you are and what you enjoy, it still doesn't hurt to ask that question. I've become pretty confident in myself the past 10 or so years, but I still find new things that I didn't think I would like. I admit I tend to be a little bit of a music snob and I don't listen to very much mainstream music. So I just don't really know what's out there. I might hear a little clip of something and think, oh, I don't like that. That's not for me. Well, one day, for whatever reason, I got a wild hair and I decided to try listening to Post Malone. It's not my normal style of music at all. But it turns out I actually really enjoyed it. So here I am, coming on 42 years old, and I'm still discovering new types of music and new things that I enjoy. So just keep trying different things, clothes, music, and then also more, less physical things. What do you believe? What do you think about certain things? What do you enjoy studying and learning about? You can do this in any area of your life. Just experiment and figure it out and be honest with yourself. So once you know who you are, it can be scary, even when you have that knowledge, to start to present yourself to the world. When I first realized that goth is kind of my favorite style, It's definitely not the only style I like, but it's definitely my main fashion style. And I was pretty self conscious dressing like that out in public, where I stuck out like a sore thumb. So just try maybe go out to lunch by yourself somewhere where nobody is going to be around to judge you. Or maybe just wear a new piece of jewelry or a new shade of lipstick that isn't normal for you. Just start small and start building that confidence. Another way you can start to get more confident expressing yourself is to find some local meetup groups or some online forums and talk to people that enjoy the same things that you do. So when you get to talk to these people who inherently have the same interests as you and start having conversations, it helps you become a little more confident in sharing your interests and your views with the world at large. I want to end with a story to illustrate how important it can be, not just to yourself, but to the world. So one day, many years ago, I was driving to work, same route I drive every day, and I passed the same bus stop that I do every day. Well, on this particular day, there was a guy waiting for the bus by himself, and he had his headphones in and he was just jamming and dancing and loving whatever it was that he was listening to. Now, I don't know where he was going. Maybe he was happy because he was off work and going home, or maybe he was on his way to work and it was a job that he hated. But in that moment, he was just so unabashedly happy and enjoying the music that it really brought a huge smile to my face. And to this day, I still think about that moment. It was just a few brief seconds that I saw this guy dancing at the bus stop as I was driving past. But when I am feeling a little self-conscious about expressing myself or letting my true self come out in public around people who might not know me, I think about that guy and the impact that he had on me. He'll never know that he made me smile. He'll never know that years later I still think about him as an example of how I want to be. So when you hide yourself, when you hide your light and make yourself smaller, who might you have been inspiring had you allowed yourself to fully shine through? So leave a comment below and let me know what your thoughts on self-expression are. Obviously, there are situations where you do need to tone it down a little. I am not going to show up to a business meeting or a job interview in full goth attire with black eyeliner and bright red lipstick or whatever it may be. Yes, there are times when you need to, unfortunately, conform just a little bit. But when you know who you are and when you are confident in that, you can do it a lot more easily. And I'll even do things like I wear my witchy bracelets and necklace. I wear my jewelry that's me. Or I wear a pair of crazy socks under my pants that nobody is going to see unless I lift my pant leg or something like that. So let me know what you think. And also don't forget my challenge of 3 things I love about myself every day. I'm sharing on Instagram and I'd love if you'd share as well. I will be doing a live chat next Wednesday, February 24th at 7 p.m. And I'd love to share some of the things that everybody loves about themselves. And we'll also just talk about self-care and self-love and various tips and techniques and just anything around that topic. So until next time, be kind to yourself and those around you and let your light shine for all the world to see.